Oaxaca, Mexico. It is November 1st, the first official day of Dia de Muertos. Oaxaca does it bigger than any place, I think, in the entire world. There's so much great history and food and happenings in this city. We're gonna cover the origins of the celebration. We're gonna cover the food, the parties, where to see it, how to see it. But to get the day started, we need to go back in time a little bit.
Dia de los Muertos, as we know it today, was heavily influenced by a few different ancient civilizations, right? Now, the Mesoamericans, specifically the Nahua people, they believed once a person died, they had to spend several years and go through 9 different challenges to ultimately reach their final resting place, Mictlan. And in order to reach Mictlan, family members and friends of the deceased provide different things to help the deceased person get to their final resting place, transfer over to ancient Europe. And you have the pagans. The pagans also celebrated death. They had bonfires, festivals. When the Roman Catholic Church came to be, they also adopted some of those traditions from the pagans as well. That then heavily influenced in the medieval Spaniard times. They also celebrated the dead. They set out what was called pan de animas, or spirit bread, to nourish the souls, the dead people, to come and visit them every year. And basically you get all 3 of those: the Nahua rituals and religion, pagan influence, as well as the colonial Spanish influence, that basically melted together to create Dia de los Muertos as we know it today.
The earliest celebrations of Dia de Muertos done by the Nahua people in Mesoamerica happened in the summertime, I think around August. Fast forward to the Spanish colonization, they came in and wanted to essentially eradicate as much indigenous culture as possible. And so that's when the date moved to fall, November 1st and November 2nd, which coincided with the Catholic All Souls Day and All Saints Day. Each day represents 2 different celebrations. November 1st is for lost children, and November 2nd is essentially for adults. So at the strike of midnight on November 1st, families are out at the cemeteries, cleaning the gravestones, leaving offerings, toys, food for their lost little ones. On November 2nd, they're doing the same thing again, but for the adults. And you'll kind of see the themes change. All of a sudden there's mezcal on the cemetery graves, and the party livens up a little bit. During the day on Dia de los Muertos, there's just parties kind of popping up here and there, little parades, music, celebrations. You need to just kind of go out and explore and find the party, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Let's go take a look.
So one of the best things to do in Oaxaca City during Dia de los Muertos literally is just to walk around. In the daytime, it is not near as busy as it is in the nighttime, but it is the perfect opportunity to stroll around, take in all the beautiful artwork, all the festivities, all the designs, marigold flowers all around. There are skeletons and skulls, there are people dressed up in face paint, and it's just a good excuse to get around, wander through the different side streets, and see what you can find to take in all the activities during Dia de los Muertos.
One thing you are bound to find on your walk around town are ofrendas, or altares, and these are the table setups, if you will, usually multi-layered. This is the place where the deceased are honored and remembered. Each ofrenda is going to have several things in common: marigolds, food, water, usually photos, and those photos are the ones that we are remembering. Interestingly, I read that ofrendas should always be specific to a person or person who we are trying to remember or honor, because the purpose of them is to invite or welcome the spirits back home to be with their loved ones, and you don't want to leave an open invitation to all spirits. And so you'll see their photo, their favorite drink, their favorite food, something to represent them specifically. Ofrendas are really kind of the heart and soul of this holiday. The holiday is all about honoring and remembering our loved ones and not being scared of death, but knowing that death is just a continuation of our life on this earth and the beyond, if you will. So as you walk around, pop your head into those art exhibits, look through the open window. You're going to see ofrendas all over the place, and each one, whether it's simple or extremely elaborate, is beautiful and is honoring somebody's loved one. Full-time travel life never stops. We had to make a pit stop to pick up our laundry, which, by the way, almost all of our clothes were cleaned for less than $10. How much was it, babe? $5. $8. We love that. But while we're here on this beautiful side street with all of the papel picados, which are the gorgeous colorful banners above me, I wanted to mention the 4 elements that you will find all throughout the decorations and the celebrations of Dia de Muertos. It's earth, wind, fire, and water. Earth is the food that nourishes the souls. You'll find that on the ofrendas. Fire are the little votive candles that you'll find at the cemetery or all around the decorations. Those light the way back home for the souls. The water, you'll find pictures of water basically on the ofrendas to quench the thirst of the souls after their long journey. And the air is what carries the souls back home. And the papel picados are these gorgeous like paper banners with cutouts. And the cutouts are specifically so that the souls can pass through them on their journey. Pretty beautiful, huh? Anyway, let's go drop this off back at the hotel and we will meet you back out here for evening festivities. I love the juxtaposition of this indigenous dance and culture being done right in the plaza, right in front of the Catholic Church. Like, when you think about the history of this area, it's kind of wild. Beautiful. I don't know who exactly they're calling to, but they were heard. That was powerful.
Sure. It was so neat. Like you could just feel it with the drums beating like in your bones.
Oh my gosh, you just never know what's gonna pop up around here. So we've seen everything from a doggy costume show to art, everything. Let's see what else we can.
Eres perfecta mujer, de la cabeza a los pies. Tú pasas de mi nivel, tú tienes el piquete. De la forma que tú besas, mami, más simétrica que un origami. De la forma que
Jordan's very favorite street snack. That's the biggest elote I've seen yet.
Elote's huge! One of the other things you will notice here at the festivities and the parades are all of the skulls and the skeletons. There's a significance to that. Back in the 1910s, there was an artist and writer named Jose Posada. He wrote and spoke a lot about the political environment and the social unrest going on at the time. He drew a picture of the Queen of the Dead, the Queen of Miquelon, or the Queen of the Underworld, in this European outfit and dress and hat and stuff, and named her La Catrina, which is one of the main skeleton figures that you will see all throughout Dia de los Muertos parades and celebrations. And it was meant to basically say like the indigenous people here, after being colonized, are starting to take on those European customs and norms. Basically said, be yourself. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be like them. In the day, we're all skeletons and bones, right? Death is a great democratizer, essentially, is what he was saying. Over the years, basically, La Catrina and skeletons and skulls have all been part of the Dia de los Muertos celebrations, which is also fitting to the origin of Dia de los Muertos. You don't fear death, right? So the skeletons are scattered throughout, sometimes in playful, fun positions. It's just an extra element to all the festivities here, and that's why you'll see skeletons, and skulls.
Y estoy listo pa' tomar el castigo. Yeah, y todo lo prohibido.
And that behind us is one of the many massive La Catrinas that you will see here in Oaxaca.
Looking very elegant, looking very dead. We're gonna call this evening dead, at least for us. We're gonna get some sleep. We will see you all in the morning for day 2. Good morning. Happy Dia de Muertos. We wanted to start our morning right here at our hotel. We're staying at El Rincón de Doña Betty. It's very lovely, but they had their ofrenda out. They've had it out for several days, but when we came outside this morning, we noticed that they had put the trail of marigold petals to let the spirit know this is the way, kind of lead the way. It's so beautiful. I love it, so we wanted to show you. Come on. Isn't it gorgeous? We are gonna start our day with coffee at our very favorite coffee shop and some pan de muerto for breakfast. It's a very busy morning at Morito y Mowgli, but this is our very favorite cafe, the espresso tonic. Y'all have got to get it, but best of all, and what we came for, is the cutest little pan de muerte. So this is the most traditional shape, but they come in all kinds. Literally walk through any market and you're going to see all the different varieties. There's dozens. This is my favorite. This circle is supposed to represent like the circle of life and death. And then this is basically a skull and bones laid across to memorialize the deceased. And then it's sprinkled with sugar and it's actually very, very good. I read that the origins go back to the Aztecs. They made a bread kind of similar, but they made theirs with sort of like a blood sacrifice for the gods. This one is bloodless and it's very delicious. It's made with orange blossom. It's absolutely delicious. As we were checking out, I realized that's our very last time at that cafe because tomorrow our flight is at 6:45 a.m. I'm kind of sad, y'all. You have to try it. It's just so good. Anyway, we're gonna go take a beat back at the hotel, but we'll meet you back out here for lunch because most of the action today starts at noon and then, as always, picks up at night. So we'll meet you back. Back at it again after a very brief little siesta. We were kind of taking a long way around. We like to walk by this plaza and we were noticing there were tons and tons of beautiful butterflies. So we wanted to start with a little fun fact. We're gonna sprinkle them in throughout the day, anything we kind of couldn't fit in yesterday. Fact number one, we all know the monarchs are migrating about this time. They migrate from Canada to central Mexico, and it's believed that those butterflies are actually the spirits coming to visit. You'll see mariposas, butterflies, incorporated into Dia de los Muertos decor, and like I saw a woman with a headdress last night that was like beautiful monarchs on the top. So you'll see it kind of mixed in alongside. So if you're ever here and walking around and you see the butterflies everywhere this time of year, think of all the souls returning home to their family.
It's still a little bit quiet out here right now. It's almost noon, which traditionally is when things are really supposed to kick off for Dia de los Muertos. But since everything's kind of closed due to COVID right now, or not closed, but since the parades and things aren't happening, we're not sure what's gonna happen, but we wanted to just be here
just in case. While we wait, first order of business is some snacks. I'm craving some elote.
Elote. No luck on the elote. We're gonna wait. We've learned that basically the action here doesn't start until the evening, like 6 p.m. regardless of what day it is.
Daytime is just chill, which is fine, You could, I did think about maybe grabbing an aguas, which I think is a fun tip.
Yeah.
If you're at a restaurant or on the street and you want to order water and you just ask for agua, they're going to list you a bunch of flavors because what they're really offering is aguas frescas, like different flavored waters. So if you want just regular water, ask for agua natural. But if you are on the street, grab yourself one of those aguas. You'll see these big plastic canisters of different beautifully colored things, horchata, passion fruit.
They're delicious, y'all.
Tamarindo, they're all
Very
really
refreshing.
good, very refreshing. I might scoop one of those up here in a minute, but that's just a little fun fact, as promised. You know, sprinkling them in throughout the day. Anyway.
We're gonna, we're almost
kid
busted.
just
You gotta watch where you're going out here.
Brushed it off really well.
You did
Played it
good.
off.
Agua de qué te damos? Maracuyá, crema de coco, capuchino, jamaica, horchata, fresa, piña colada, pepino con limón.
Piña colada. Gracias. I went with piña colada, pineapple, and coconut. Oh, that's so good. It's so bright and refreshing. They're always so tasty. If you see one called Jamaica, or it looks like Jamaica, that's the hibiscus one, and it's pretty traditional. I think it's especially popular for Dia de los Muertos. Can you believe this is a small? This is a small. It was 25 pesos. I think this will hold me over for a little bit. Mayonesa.
Chile, limón.
We've gotten uno elote, which is what Jordan has. It's the corn on the stick, the very classic option. And I got the tosti esquites. Basically take the corn off the cob. It's usually in a cup, but this time it's on chips. So that's what we have. It's very hot, it's very delicious. I'm so excited. And we're gonna walk around and see what the party is today.
Lo que sea contigo, aunque tú me veas solo como amigo. Yeah, no solo quiero pa' eso. Yeah, no solamente pa' sexo. Yeah, lo que sea contigo.
I look like a little princess or something. there are lots of ways to participate in the festivities, but if you want to kind of get in on the action, you can get flower crowns, you can get your face painted, you can dress up. If you do get your face painted though, here's a helpful hint. One, we've been told they're not exactly supposed to be scary. The whole point of Dia de los Muertos is a celebration of life and death, and that death is not scary. So, you know, steer clear of that. And also, if you get your face painted and you want to go visit the cemeteries on a year where the cemeteries are actually open, they weren't really open this year, take it off before you go to the cemetery because it's seen as a little bit disrespectful to wear the face paint to that particular location, but otherwise totally welcome, and people have their face painted all over the place. Anyway, do you like it? What do you think? It's kind of fun, huh? I think it's missing an orange one right there, but you know, who cares? And if you're interested, this was a 100 pesos. I didn't haggle or anything because that's hardly any money and I'm happy to have it, so. And it's real flowers. Isn't that fun? I love it. Y'all see that sweet little puppy dog? It had like its body painted like a little skeleton. Here's a final fun fact. I think I've just about run out for the day, but apparently that particular breed of dog, I think it's Zolo or Cholo dogs, they are said to be spirit guides for all the spirits that come back to visit. They help guide them back to the underworld or the great beyond, however you want to call it. Anyway, it was really sweet. I think that's what that dog was supposed to be, kind of dressed up as one of those spirit guides, so I hope it is guiding all those spirits safely back to where they go until next year. So by now I think you figured out that Dia de Muertos, at least here in Oaxaca, is just a huge party. The party just goes on for days and days and days. Most of it happens at night. Jordan and I aren't huge late night kind of people or necessarily partiers. That's just not our style. But we want to partake in our own way, so we're rounding out the evening at El Cortijo. It's a mezcaleria just a block away from the whole main area where we just were. I got some sort of lovely mezcal with lima. It's nice. It's definitely salty. It's on the smoother side, not too intense. Let's see what Jordan thinks of his.
Cheers. Has some good mezcal, y'all. Smooth, but has some fuerte to it, you know what I'm saying? Some strength. So good.
The amount of glasses before us should be a testament to the hospitality of the Oaxacan and Mexican people. We just got to meet the owner of this establishment, and he brought us a little tasting of their house brand, El Cortijo, which is also the name of the bar. And it is very good. It is the most mellow one of the bunch. So thank you. So y'all, be sure and check them out.
We've been here for 10 days. We've done food tours, mezcal tours, walked all around the city, and we really did our best to try to like share the history and the meaning and show you what Dia de los Muertos is all about. We know it's not our culture, but we so enjoyed it. Like, it is just a wonderful experience, and it's also just a wonderful meaning to celebrate the dead versus mourn the dead, right? It has so much meaning to us personally. We've all, you know, have loved ones and friends and family that have gone on and passed, right? With that though, that's gonna wrap up our time here in Oaxaca, and we'll see you in the next one.